Hey, I got an email question the other day about my SIG P320 X5 Legion here. Someone asked me, how do you take off the rear sight plate? Because they had been looking at it in a store and they couldn't see any way to take the rear sight plate off. And they're right. If you look at it, it's not real obvious how you take it off there. And if you do take it off, you lose your one little Legion symbol there. That's what sucks about taking it off. But if you want to put a red dot on it like they wanted to, you have to take it off. Another question they asked me, and they said they wanted to know this because they were thinking about doing it, is if you do put a Romeo red dot sight on this, does it co-witness with the standard front sight? And I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't think that it does, but, I've seen where some people say it does. So I thought I'd go ahead and not only show how to remove this plate, but put a Romeo red dot sight on it and see if it co-witnesses. I just happen to have a Romeo one right here. I got this from Sporting Systems. They had actually used it as a demo and then said, hey, we can't sell it now. Do you want it? And I'm like, well, sure, I'll take it. I got lots of guns I can put it on. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the SIG there and see, like I said, if it co-witnesses. I don't know if all of you out there have ever seen one, but there is that little notch in the back of the Romeo sights, and some people say that that lines up with the front sight and creates a co-witness situation. But like I said, we'll see. First thing we're going to have to do is take this sight plate off, and like I said, it is not obvious. I looked at it and I'm like, what, do I have to take out the screw here, the adjustment screw for height here? No, you actually take it off from the bottom. After I inspected the slide, you can clearly see where you got to take it off from the bottom. I don't see why you'd have to take the slide off. I think you could probably just do it by pushing the slide to the rear. But let's see here. Let's see if I can actually change it off here without taking the slide off the gun. If you actually look up in there under the slide here, you're going to see where there's two little holes for screws, and you can see one of the screws, but one of the screws is actually being obscured by the little plunger here. So I'm going to take that out of there and see then if I can get to the screws easily and just get this taken off real quick. Let's just take this back plate off. I'm just going to push this in and slide the plate off. Then I'm going to take this out. And that should allow me to get to both of those screws. Yep, I don't know if you can see them there, but now I can see both screws up in there. All right, let's get those screws out of there from the bottom. Okay, that came off very easily. I'm going to put the screws back in this so I don't lose them. You will not need them to put the sight back on. And you won't need these parts out of... It just fell out. Oh, my extractor just fell out because I got that out. Just the extractor go back in here. Be careful not to let your extractor fall out there like I just did. All right, just get this started back up in here and then push that back in once more and slide that up into place. Everything should be solid now, including your extractor. And then just close it up and we will put the sight on there, and nope, didn't have to take the slide off at all. So real easy to get that off. Now, since these are both SIG items, these should fit together perfectly. It should fit right in that little slot and should match up with the hole. Shouldn't need a plate or anything. Looks like it does. So let's go ahead and put this thing down on here now. Okay, in the spirit of being fully transparent here, I want to let you know that it was actually 2 days ago when I took the sight off of this. I'm not continuing this video the same day, because I ran into a little problem. You remember 2 days ago now when I said that since this is a SIG sight and a SIG gun, they should be compatible. Well, you look back into the past and you go, wow, how could I have ever been so naive when I was young? Well, I'm having one of those situations now. I'm like, how could I have been so naive 2 days ago to think that just because this is a relatively new SIG product and this is a new SIG product, that they'd actually make them go together? They do not. I contacted SIG after I tried to put this on and it didn't fit. It just wouldn't stay on there. The screws are not the right size. They're not in the exact right position. I sent them an email saying, do I have the right screws? Am I missing some screws with my sight? And they sent me back a letter saying, oh, you're using the Romeo, blah, 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 basically, and that won't work on our new guns. But they basically said, good news, because they say, however, you can buy a new $400 fucking sight and put on it if you want to actually have a red dot on it, and buy the Romeo 1 Pro. That is so much better that we had to make the screw holes a little different. In fact, you can see the letter here they sent me. And you know what? That really puts a bee in my britches. I don't like that kind of thing. It really pisses me off. So won't be putting a red dot sight on this right now. I'll be putting the regular iron sights back on it, because I'll be fucked if I'm going to actually go buy a $400 sight to put on this gun, just because they don't want you using your old stuff. They want you to buy new stuff. They want to, just like I say, makes me mad. I swear, these companies these days, they're like a bunch of, horny bisexual Taiwanese ladyboys. They want to fuck everybody as much as they possibly can. So it just irritates me. But like I say, probably not going to be putting a red dot sign on this now, but I can answer the question of whether this actually co-witnesses or not. And I'll show you that right here. If you look through the little slot right there, it does actually co-witness with the front sight. And I did send them a letter back saying, well, if this one co-witnesses, does the new one co-witness? And they said, yes, it does. So I guess it will co-witness, but like I said, you can't put the Romeos on here. It has to be a Romeo 1. In the end, at least I was able to show you a couple of things here. I was able to show you how to take that rear sight off, and I was able to show you it co-witnesses. And I guess I was also able to show you that Sig Sauer is a money-grubbing company, but I think we all knew that already. So there you have it. I can't really go any further unless I'm willing to cough up another $400, which I definitely am not, because to be honest, I've been a little bit disappointed with this gun anyway. So this gun will not be getting an expensive new sight.